Ollie was a sweet 6-year-old boy. One day, his favorite teddy bear went missing. He searched every corner of the house, but the teddy was nowhere to be found. Ollie was very sad. His mother said, "Maybe your teddy is on a new adventure." Hearing this, Ollie felt a little better, but he was still restless. That night, when everyone was asleep, Ollie suddenly woke up. He heard a soft whisper, "Ollie. Ollie." His heart started pounding. Was it his teddy? Ollie slowly peeked under his bed. A tiny light was glowing there. When he reached out, he found his teddy, but it looked alive. "Where did you go, Teddy?" Ollie asked. Teddy smiled and said, "I was keeping a secret. Come, let me show you." Teddy led Ollie to a small secret door. When Ollie opened it, he saw a tiny world where only toys lived. Ollie was amazed. Every toy was alive and playing. At night, "This is where all toys come to play," Teddy said. Ollie realized that his teddy was the guardian of this world. Whenever a child felt sad, Teddy would find a way to bring them here. But now, it was time to go home. Teddy said, "You can always come back whenever you want." Ollie hugged him tightly with a smile. The next morning, Ollie woke up to find his teddy beside him. Was it all a dream? Or a real secret? But Ollie knew one thing: his teddy was not just a toy, but a magical friend. Ollie couldn't stop thinking about the magical world he had seen. That night, he whispered to his teddy, "Can we go back?" To his surprise, Teddy's eyes twinkled, and the small secret door appeared again. Ollie excitedly stepped through the door. This time, the toy world looked even more colorful and alive. The toy soldiers were marching, dolls were dancing, and teddy bears were having a tea party. Suddenly, a small wooden toy rabbit ran up to Ollie. "We need your help. The magic gem that keeps our world alive is missing." Ollie's eyes widened. Teddy held Ollie's hand. "We must find it before sunrise. Without the gem, this world will disappear." Ollie nodded bravely. "Let's go on an adventure." Ollie and Teddy followed a glowing trail through the enchanted forest. Strange creatures peeked from behind trees, and the wind whispered secrets. "The gem is close," Teddy said. They reached an old wooden chest, guarded by a grumpy-looking toy dragon. "No one can take the gem," the dragon growled. Ollie stepped forward bravely. "But we need it to save your world." The dragon sighed. "I was only keeping it safe. If you promise to protect this world, I'll give it back." Ollie placed his hand on his heart. "I promise." The dragon smiled and handed over the shining gem. As soon as Ollie placed the gem in its rightful place, the entire toy world sparkled with new energy. Lights shone brighter, music played, and everyone cheered. "You saved us, Ollie." But as the sun began to rise, Teddy said, "It's time to go home." Ollie hugged his toy friends. "I'll never forget this adventure." With one last look, he stepped back through the magical door. That night, when Ollie closed his eyes, he didn't need the secret door. In an instant, he was standing in the toy world, surrounded by his old friends. Ollie's back, the toys cheered, but something was different. A new path had appeared, leading to a glowing castle in the distance. Teddy pointed at it. That's where the next adventure begins. As Ollie walked toward the castle, the air became filled with whispers. Who goes there? A deep voice asked. A golden knight toy stepped forward, blocking the way. I'm Ollie, the new guardian of the magic gem, Ollie said bravely. The knight studied him for a moment, then nodded. You may enter, but be warned, the castle holds many secrets. Inside, the castle was filled with floating books, sparkling chandeliers, and moving staircases. This place is alive, Ollie whispered. Teddy nodded. It's the library of forgotten toys. A tiny wooden owl fluttered down from a shelf. Ah, the new guardian has arrived. We need your help. Someone has stolen the scroll of lost wishes. Ollie felt a shiver of excitement. Where was it last seen? The owl pointed to a dark hallway. In the Hall of Shadows. But beware, it's protected by the shadow puppets. Ollie took a deep breath. I'm ready. As he stepped forward, the shadows on the walls began to move. The shadow puppets had woken up. Who dares enter our hall? They whispered. Teddy whispered, they can only be defeated by light. Ollie quickly remembered his flashlight in his pocket. He turned it on, and the shadows hissed, shrinking away from the beam. At the end of the hall, a golden chest sat on a pedestal. That must be it. Ollie ran forward and opened the chest. Inside was an ancient scroll, glowing with soft light. Ollie carefully picked up the scroll. The castle suddenly shuddered, and the walls glowed. The lost wishes were returning to the toy world. You did it, Ollie. Teddy cheered. The golden knight appeared again. You have proven yourself worthy, guardian. This scroll holds the forgotten wishes of children. It must always be protected. Ollie smiled. He knew his adventures were only beginning. As he placed the scroll back in its rightful place, he whispered, I promise to protect the magic forever. As the toy world cheered, Ollie felt himself fading back to his bed. He woke up with Teddy in his arms, but now, he knew the truth, he wasn't just a boy with a teddy bear. He was a guardian of magic.